All right, today we're going to take a tour. A really straightforward, biological tour of the human reproductive systems. We're going to break down the anatomy, piece by piece, so we can really understand the incredible designs that make life possible. Let's dive right in. You know, this quote really captures the magic of it all, doesn't it? But behind that one little moment, wow, there's this incredibly complex biological machine at work. And to really get how life is created, we first need to get a handle on the anatomy of that machine.
So, at its very core, we're talking about the reproductive system. Its main job? To produce and fertilize what are called gametes. That's just the scientific term for sperm and eggs. And in both sexes, the main organs for this are the gonads. They're the ones responsible for creating those gametes and also for producing really important sex hormones.
Okay, first up on our tour, the male reproductive system. When you boil it all down, its function is really about two key things: making sperm and then, well, delivering it.
So, starting with the outside anatomy, we've got three main structures. The penis, which has dual roles in both intercourse and urination. Then there's the scrotum, which is a protective sac of skin. And it has a super important job. It helps regulate the temperature for the organs inside it, the testicles, or testes.
Now, if we move inside, it's this whole complex network of ducts and glands. You can kind of think of it as the system's plumbing and its support crew. Sperm travels through these ducts, like the vas deferens, and as it goes, glands, like the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland, add fluids, and altogether that creates semen. And that fluid is absolutely crucial for nourishing and transporting the sperm.
And the testes themselves? Well, they're the real MVPs here, with two huge jobs. As the primary male gonads, they're basically sperm-producing factories, working away inside these tiny coiled tubes. But they're also an endocrine gland, producing testosterone, which is the key hormone that drives male development and reproductive function.
And now, for the second part of our tour, the female reproductive system. This system is designed not just for producing eggs and for intercourse, but also for the absolutely remarkable task of nurturing new life, all the way from conception to birth.
Okay, here's a key term to know. Collectively, all the external female genitalia are known as the vulva. This includes protective parts like the labia majora and minora, and also the clitoris, which is incredibly sensitive because of a high concentration of nerve endings.
And you know, this brings us to a super common point of confusion. People often use the words vulva and vagina like they're the same thing, but anatomically, they refer to two completely different parts. So let's clear this up right now.
The distinction is actually pretty simple. The vulva is everything you can see on the outside, all the external genitalia. The vagina, on the other hand, is the internal muscular canal that connects the cervix, which is the very bottom of the uterus, to the outside world.
All right, let's head inside the pelvic cavity. Here we find the core internal organs. The vagina connects up to the uterus, which is this pear-shaped organ where a fetus develops. At the base of the uterus, you have the cervix. And then on either side of the uterus are the two ovaries, which are connected by the fallopian tubes. And hey, just like the testes, the ovaries are the primary female gonads, and they also have two major functions. First, they're where the eggs or oocytes are produced and mature. And second, they're endocrine glands, and they secrete the essential female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone.
So, how does an egg get from the ovary over to the uterus? Well, there's a fantastic analogy for this. The fallopian tubes aren't actually stuck right onto the ovaries. Instead, at the end of each tube, there are these finger-like things called fimbriae, and they sweep over the ovary to catch the egg, almost exactly like a baseball glove catching a ball. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, get ready for a fact that might actually blow your mind. After intercourse, sperm can survive inside the female reproductive tract for up to 5 days. That means they can literally just hang out and wait for an egg to be released. It really puts a spotlight on the incredible timing involved in reproduction.
So far, we've been looking at these two systems as completely separate and distinct. But here's where we get a biological plot twist. They both actually develop from the exact same embryonic blueprint.
And that's possible because of a concept called homologous structures. Now, it might sound technical, but the idea is pretty straightforward. It just means that a lot of organs in both systems, even though they look totally different in adults, actually come from the very same tissue in an embryo.
I mean, look at this. It's truly fascinating when you break it down. The clitoris develops from the same embryonic tissue as the penis. The labia majora is the homologue to the scrotum. And get this, even the primary gonads, the testes and the ovaries, arise from the exact same undifferentiated tissue. It's this incredible story of two different paths from one common starting point.
We have definitely covered a lot of technical ground, but this isn't just some abstract biology lesson. Understanding all of this anatomy has real-world importance for every single one of us.
So, at the end of the day, why does any of this matter? Well, for one, knowing the correct terminology for your own body, that's empowering. It lets you talk about your health accurately. And understanding how these systems are supposed to work is the very first step in being able to recognize when something might be wrong. It helps you make informed choices about everything from contraception to fertility.
So we're left with this really fascinating thought. These two systems, so different in their final forms and functions, begin from the exact same place. It's a powerful reminder of the intricate story that's written in our own biology. And it leaves us with a question. What else can these shared beginnings and different paths teach us about the amazing complexity of being human?